I actually did that on one of my newer TVs I hadn't done yet. Very easy to do, and it's actually kind of fun to like look around and see what the weather's like in other parts of the area. I'm sure if you have the app, you can do that for us.
Yeah, there's a lot to see, a lot to do on there. And of course, lately here, you can check out all of the severe weather, I guess the aftermath going on now. And we will likely be cleaning up for quite a while after those ferocious storms that rolled through Houston yesterday. But here is a look at that line of storms that pushed through. Of course, when it pushed through downtown, 100-mile-per-hour straight line destructive winds rolled through. Of course, we did have the 2 confirmed tornadoes, one just to the southwest of Waller, one in Cypress, but it was certainly a day to be remembered yesterday. It was a very scary setup with this big-time destructive squall line rolling through with this wind damage. In fact, I want to take you back to around 6:35 yesterday, right around the Heights area, one of the hardest hit areas. Our radar was estimating that those wind speeds were close to 100 miles per hour. That strong, damaging, destructive wind actually held together, rolled to the east all the way to New Orleans and even east of New Orleans. So it stayed together for several hundred miles, and we call that a derecho, basically an intense line of strong to severe storms that can hold together for very long periods of time, move across multiple states, and produce a lot of destruction, even hurricane-force winds like we experienced yesterday. So we had that roll across downtown Houston with winds up to 100 miles per hour, that 110-mile-per-hour EF1 tornado in Cypress, and of course the EF1 tornado now confirmed just to the southwest of Waller yesterday evening. As if that weren't enough, Baytown, you experienced straight line wind around 90 to 100 miles per hour. So this was certainly a pretty rare event as far as that derecho is concerned. You may be wondering, when did we last have a derecho? Well, the last one reported in this area almost exactly 38 years ago, and it was a pretty rough, scary situation because we had a fishing tournament going on around Lake Livingston, Galveston Bay regattas, and those folks were out there in what was seemingly a very nice weather scenario, but storms rolled in and hundreds of those folks had to be rescued on the water. Several of those people were killed, so it was certainly a very dangerous and scary scenario then. So fortunately, we don't get those systems that often, but of course, when they roll through, they can produce widespread damage, and we're still dealing with several 100,000 people without power, around 500,000 for much of Harris County. Good news tonight, no severe weather, although over the last few hours we did have a little thin line of storms develop and roll across Houston, dumping some heavy rain for a while there, producing some lightning strikes and some small hail. But that line, as it pushes to the south and east, is starting to fall apart. So I'm not worried about any additional severe weather for tonight. However, we've gotten rid of the severe weather, but we're still dealing with the flooding. 2 to 5 inches of rain for many of you just over the last few days. That piled on top of what we've had over recent weeks. So we've still got that river flooding down around the Brazos River, major flooding for parts of the Trinity River, flooding up towards Livingston and Shepherd, and more flooding near the Huntsville area. Also reports that Lake Conroe is temporarily closed due to those high lake levels. So flooding will continue to be a threat, although we are finally going to start to dry out. You'll see the showers moving out for tonight. I think after midnight that rain is gone, and we will set the stage for a nice pattern change. Finally, our futurecast showing us drying out for tomorrow. That means mainly dry for this weekend, only about a 10% chance for rain, but look at the temperatures. They are really going to start to heat up, and that could be a problem because we've got several 100,000 people still without power, and we're talking about temps in the 90s for the next several days. Heat index values or feels like temps likely in the triple digits as we go into early next week. So that is going to be our next big issue. So many people without power, and temperatures are going to be dangerously hot. So we'll have to monitor that closely and just try to stay safe. Of course, I know cooling centers are going to open, so we're just going to have to monitor that, but just be careful, stay safe, and of course, watch out for the down trees, the power lines, just so much going on.
Definitely have to be careful out there. Thank you, Ramisha.